Combat Zone. Power Combat Feature.
Welcome back to the enchanting city of Taipei in Taiwan for part 2 of our Kung Fu documentary. When we last left Team South Africa, the South African and French SWT Kung Fu contingents were giving some Eastern viewers a taste of the true awesome power of Kung Fu and Qi energy, as demonstrated here by an iron hand. The Taiwan International Flora Exposition is a great chance to explore some of Taiwan's hidden treasures. And of course, after the festivities, Team South Africa got a chance to get a real taste of the history and culture of Taiwan, as represented by the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial. Another major treat for the South African contingent was to witness one of Taiwan's oldest and most coveted traditions, the changing of the guard, before heading back, you guessed it, for more training. Now, the whole point of having some of the top exponents of SWT Kung Fu from South Africa and France was to make sure that there was a unified approach to technique. Obviously, both schools will have developed slight idiosyncrasies as time wears on. This is the opportunity for Master Su to correct those small inadequacies and make sure that everyone is on the same page.
Go.
Focus is vital in Kung Fu, and it is always important to return back to the basics and make sure that you're working off the right foundation.
Right.
Okay.
Wide
stance, go back. Right, everybody.
I use this part to hit people. I must watch this side. I use this side to hit. I must watch here. Now,
any martial arts practitioner will tell you how inspiring it can be to train in an authentic Kung Fu or martial arts setting. And here the South African students got a chance to immerse themselves in the history and tradition of the art that they now love and study. Here are some of the most traditional weapons being displayed, reenacting an ages-old battle between the Guandao and the sword and shield. One young Frenchman in particular was so inspired that he took on a much larger South African opponent. This also presented an irreplaceable opportunity for the South African SWT Kung Fu team to quite literally return to the source. The Su family practicing Kung Fu here at the Guangkou village through generations. And in fact, Kung Fu has become so enshrined in the culture of this village that it is now literally represented in the heritage. But if you thought Master Su was an imposing figure in training, step into a grading. In this case, with one of our senior students grading to a 5th degree in the Black Sash, all Kung Fu students in SWT school wanting to grade above the 3rd sash have to fly to Taiwan for ratification. Now, each will have been pre-graded in South Africa, but this of course gives Master Su the opportunity to make sure that his senior students are offering a perfect representation of SWT Kung Fu. Simon Cumberland and Ziggy Illa will be waiting with bated breath for Master Su's verdict. And of course, on such a busy trip, it's up to Sifu Malcolm to send word back to the masses in South Africa of progress made on the camp. Well, Sifu Malcolm was going to have a lot to report back on today, as Team South Africa and Team France were afforded a very special honor of joining the 999-man procession. Thus, another chance to get not only a masterclass in Kung Fu, but also in Taiwanese culture. Now quite used to the cameras following their every move, they'd become quite accustomed to the media being very interested in their foreign visitors. Of course, Master Su himself, a very well-respected and quite well-known public figure. The festival is a spiritual celebration, but this year carried a very special significance of also being a fundraiser for victims of the earthquake in Japan. Once again, it has to be noted that Team South Africa getting the opportunity to be exposed to the nuanced culture of the individual regions within Taiwan. And of course, the Taiwanese more than happy to display their culture to the world. As we become accustomed, the lion dance, normally a prelude to a kung fu demonstration. And again, it was up to the South African and French teams to give the Taiwanese public a taste of some of the true treasures of kung fu. Tang Kung Fu, the perfect martial art to display some of the wonderful traditional weapons involved in this martial art. As the curtain fell on another very successful demonstration, you could see the nerves had quite clearly been calmed. It was time to recharge mind and body with another healthy feast. Sending ripples right the way through Taiwan, our South African contingent made the evening news. And this, of course, proving how alive and well Kung Fu is within contemporary Taiwanese culture. Well, the significance of the trip for SWT Kung Fu very evident. What does it mean for individual martial arts practitioners?
I think that every martial artist should actually go back to their roots to actually find out where what they are studying comes from, why it was created in the first place, and immerse themselves in part of that history, being part of the root. In traditional terms, specifically with martial arts, be it karate, kung fu, or anything else, it's actually very important to visit the source of your actual art. For me, it actually puts the system into context to understand the cultural background from where the martial art originated from. For you to fully understand the art, you have to understand the culture, the background, the social economics, everything else that contributed in making the art what it is.
So I think in traditional martial arts, it's vital that the seniors in the system keep on going back to the source of the Kung Fu knowledge. In the Shun, it's the Su family, and they've been here for over 300 years. And this village is well known as a Kung Fu village. And they take pride in the fact that they can do the lion dance, the dragon dance, and a very, very entrenched southern style of Kung Fu.
So in this time, I must make sure he is really become a Kung Fu man. He already prepared to become a coach of Kung Fu. So I must check myself to understand what he's doing.
The perfect way to end the trip for our grading hopefuls. Ian Peach earning his 3rd degree, Ziggy Illa his 4th degree, and Simon Cumberland his 5th degree Black Sash. One of the few in South Africa to hold that incredible honor. Then, of course, celebrations all round for the inauguration of the International SWT Association that has been so well represented by our South African and French teams here in Taiwan. Now just one last chance to savor the delights of this beautiful country. And of course, no trip would be complete without the toast or the gun pie.
No matter I'm 80 years old, 90 years old, 100 years old. Hot up! Come back! Thank you.
Power Combat Zone.
In our next episode, more Fight Force professional MMA action coming your way with Ryan the Lion Finnecke up against